Hey everyone, I got a quick update for you guys. I was planning a huge video today going over everything that there is to know about everything showcased at the Game Awards, but I started recording. The recording took over 2 hours to do, and then I found out that I had recorded the whole thing without audio. So I'm not fully giving up on it, but I'm also mostly giving up on it. What I did want to do instead was still talk about one of the games that I am most anticipating over these next couple months before it comes out. Now, I'm sorry that I couldn't get that video out, but as of right now, I do not have the mental determination to like record that whole video again. As of right now, maybe I'll revisit it in the future, but sorry about that. Anyways, yeah, I'll switch over to the thing. Oh, I forgot to change the window. Oh man, today is not my day. Oh, it's so unlucky. Anyways, this is the game I am. Oh, there we go. Sorry. This is the game I am most looking forward to here. This is No Law. No Law is an upcoming first person open world RPG set in a town called Port Desire. Anyways, this was revealed last night at the game. Not last night, I guess a night or two ago at the Game Awards with a world premiere trailer. It is being developed by a Swedish based studio known as Neon Giant, who is famous for making the game The Ascent. But the publisher behind it, Crafton Inc., is also the publisher of PUBG, is the one giving all the money for this. But it is being built using Unreal Engine 5 for high fidelity and visuals and, cool reactive environments and whatnot. So if they optimize it well, it could be amazing. If they don't optimize it well, you know how that goes. But yeah, in terms of the genre, it's going to be an open world first person shooter with a lot of RPG elements similar to Cyberpunk. It is described as a cyber noir revenge thriller, going like into a really cool, unique dystopian setting. The story is going to be combining, like a just a story-rich narrative, player choice, and multiple playstyles, primarily centered around stealth, tactical, and aggressive. So yeah, this place takes place in Port Desire, a sprawling neon-soaked city built on a cliffside known as Gematsu. And the city has no laws or organized government, so that's the main like plot point. And that's why it's called No Law. It's essentially a lawless, chaotic urban environment dominated by personality, power struggles, and conflicting interests. You know what that sounds a lot like? Cyberpunk 2077, made by Crafton. Environments include rooftop gardens, dense alleyways, industrial zones, and vertical city layers. So it's not only going to be a horizontally rich map; it's going to be an incredibly vertically rich map as well. And there's going to be a lot of rewarding exploration in that. But players will be able to control a character named Gray Harker, an ex-military veteran who once walked away from combat to live the quiet life, which is kind of cool, and it's reflected in the fact that there's a huge neon lawless city right over the top of a seaside cliff. And I just really think that's kind of a cool parallel that the life that he so desired, that quiet life on the sea, is just like an arm's reach away. So it's interesting, but yeah, he gets thrown back into it after like I don't know what actually we're yet to find out what actually caused him to go back into it, but he is forced to use his Black Ops training and custom hardware to reclaim what was taken and confront the city that wronged him. So that's the central like plot point of the main story. But yeah, the narrative is described as personal and reactive, where choices affect outcomes like hugely. If they can do it right, I think back to Tainted Grail: The Fall of Avalon, where every small decision that you made ended up affecting the outcome of the game later on down the line. Like even small ones that you forgot you made in the beginning of the story ended up affecting the the ending. Like for example, when I was playing through the first act of the game, I had romanced a character, and then I had moved on to the second act, and then the third act, and then I had never returned to the first act. Well, I had, but I hadn't returned to see the character, and it mentioned how my actions not like to not go back and see her ended up completely affecting her ending in the like final summary of the game. And if they can do something like that here in No Law, I think that would be an awesome immersive detail to add into the game. Um, yeah, there's a little bit of a hint at the kind of person I am for you guys there. But yeah, so that's primarily it in terms of what they're sharing here. But then yeah, going back into the actual gameplay and mechanics, it's going to feature the first person action, as I've mentioned a couple times now, but it's also going to have the like gear upgrades and variety of playstyles that a RPG should have. So players are going to be able to engage in either lethal combat using a bunch of like just going in guns blazing, and then there's stealth and tactical planning that you can do and build your character around that. But then again, the vertical traverse, like the traversal nature, like the vertical traversal nature of the game, should help with even then planning more and more attacks. So I just think that's cool. But they also need a fluid movement system, which they are claiming they are creating. So missions and encounters are designed to support multiple approaches and encourage just exploration and experimentation with all the different like systems that the game has going for it. And then they choose to highlight again that the player choice really does end up mattering. So helping allies or eliminating foes will shape the story and unlock different paths and change outcomes. In terms of the world and visual design, Port Desire has been described as neon, like a neon sleaze instead of regulation. And what exactly that means is it kind of blends cyber grunge aesthetics with the industrial grit and overgrown plant life. I think you can see some of that here in the trailer and in some of the pictures. Like, if you look right here, you can see some of that, just that sleaze, like it looks run down. There's paint chipping off the walls around here. But there's also vines growing around the base of the thing. There's trees, and then there's that sort of industrial, like you saw all the piping and everything there. But also you go to different parts of the city, and then you got more of that like cyberpunk thing, like with the weapons and the neon lights in this picture. I don't know. I think it's cool. But yeah, that's sort of what they're talking about in terms of the visuals there. So it's going to be a mix of neon lights, smog-filled skylines, and gritty backstreets, just giving it a classic cyberpunk feel with modern depth, like on the kind of like the outskirts of Night City kind of feeling, or certain parts of Blade Runner if you are thinking that as well. But yeah, this is confirmed to be a part. Sorry, this is confirmed to be on PC, PlayStation 5, and Xbox Series, but there is no announced date. You can wishlist it on Steam, though, and it'll probably come out in the next year or two, but it could be significantly earlier. We don't totally know where they are at, so... Yeah, we don't want another Cyberpunk 2077 to happen here with no law, so I'm willing to give them some time to cook. But yeah, in terms of notable elements, there's going to be a huge emphasis on story weight and player choice. I've mentioned that many, many times now, but they keep reiterating it, so I'm going to keep reiterating it as well. But this is combining FPS combat, cyberpunk style exploration, and then similarly RPG progression elements, just to create what they're calling a hybrid experience. And this is primarily part of Krafton's portfolio expansion, so they want to create more narrative-driven, genre-bending games that are just kind of like a mix of a lot of things. Like I'm seeing RPG, cyberpunk, action, open world, FPS, and stealth. Like those are just some of the things that they're messing with there. But yeah, it is representing a new franchise and IP from Neon Giant, just taking lessons from The Ascent, and then just moving deeper into more immersive forms of gameplay. But it's also making a shift from Neon Giant's like familiarity with top-down playstyle and shifting it more towards a first-person, player-driven, combat-oriented storytelling game. So yeah, that's just a really big change for them on the development side of things, but it also promises reactive world building and multiple narrative paths appealing to fans of both narrative shooters and open world RPGs alike. So they're really trying to do a lot of things here. I know that at one point they had mentioned that every section of the city is meant to feel alive and reactive with NPCs, factions, and environmental storytelling enhancing immersion. I feel like that's one of the most important things they need to get right here on this game, is just really making sure they can create that world, but enough that it stands out from Night City or Blade Runner or whatever, because that's where they don't want to look like a cyberpunk clone. They need to still be their own thing. And I really like that they're kind of like leaning into that a bit more with making the world more reactive. I feel like in Night City you kind of just like blend into the background, and that was by design. Like you weren't supposed to stand out, but I hope that they really kind of changed that up, where the system of oppression isn't necessarily capable of doing that to you because of something that you're doing, or maybe he's a character in the world who's known for something, or like I just want to see what they end up doing with it. Oh yeah, and you can even see it down there, similar to Tainted Grail and Fallout 4. Yeah, I'm looking forward to it. I'm really looking forward to this one. I think this is my most anticipated game of the next couple of years as of right now. But there's also like Divinity that I talked about but never actually got the recording of. So yeah, hopefully I can revisit that idea in the future. But yeah, in general, this is primarily just what I wanted to do after realizing that my recording did not come out the way I expected it to. So yeah, with that said, I hope you guys enjoyed the Game Awards and that you guys are having a good weekend so far. Hope you guys are excited for the Christmas season as we're kind of transitioning into that. And yeah, see you guys in the next one. Have a good one.